Hey, it's Brandon, and welcome to Retro Reactions, a place where I experience amazing music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s for the very first time. And today we're going to be traveling all the way back to 1970 and 1971 to listen to Try Again, Your Papa Don't Mind, Traveled, Rosie Had Everything Planned, and Potter by the amazing Supertramp. And this video comes courtesy of my amazing supporter here and over on Patreon, Rob Heckman. So thank you so very much, Rob, for all your support and for leading me back to the amazing Supertramp, early Supertramp, something I just recently discovered. I know it's going to be probably some different vibes, but I know they're already amazing right from the start. All right, we'll start with Try Again. Comes from Supertramp, their first studio album. Lead vocals by Roger Hodgson and Richard Palmer. Nice. It's a highly introspective song touching on existential questioning, hope, perseverance, and spiritual yearning. Let's go. I think this one's pretty proggy, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, pretty different.
Later that evening, only a feeling, but it was there in the air that we shared in the twilight, humming a sad song. Where was our day gone? But in the dark was a spark, a remark I remember.
So smooth.
Learning a feeling, seeking a meaning, finding a way. Should you stay? How to say? Let's imagine. Maybe I'll go wrong. It may not last long, but in the night our delight must be right for this moment. She replied to some
kind of cat-like. This song takes its time. I think we're building. Nice. Drums, organ, and bass. Beautiful. Do your dance. Playful, love it. Of course. Oh. Pardon me. Wow. Musical stream of consciousness. Love that. Probably another build. Wow, now there's a cymbal crash to end the song. So interesting. Yes, different, but still a lot of those classic Supertramp elements that I love. Some of those same instruments like the woodwinds, and of course the creativity, the excellence in delivery. Wow. So in the beginning I was getting early Genesis vibes. That was a nice surprise. It was kind of folky. I was getting dreamy 60s vibes as well. Okay, definitely a different side to Supertramp. This one had beautiful rises and falls in dynamics again. A long song, so plenty of time to unravel all their amazing musical ideas here. I think I read there were multiple, like 3 different songs put together to make this epic, something like that. This song kind of felt like several dreamlike musical sequences. Absolutely love that. Very proggy for sure. I loved how the song was mixed, the placement of everything, how it came in and out, how it all worked together. Great. This song just breathes, it morphs, it treads in many places wherever it wants. Experimentation at its finest. I really enjoyed the bass line throughout the song. That would be from Roger this time. Great stuff. Plenty of amazing guitar. I mentioned it sounded cat-like at one point, kind of meowing, whatever, but plenty of interesting parts. We got this bold, lengthy, hypnotic guitar solo on the right, seemed to last forever, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. And then I love how it morphed into the center with a center right funky guitar fest happening there. Plenty of great guitar here. But then this little playful flute arrives. Very, very nice. Love that. I don't think they use flute later in their career. I'm thinking of John, and I know he does a lot of sax and clarinet, maybe oboe, but I'm not sure about the flute. I'll have to see why I don't know and how often they did use the flute later in their career. then a super bold, almost a shocking musical choice that they made when we get the full-on breakdown. So quiet, almost nothingness. And then these random musical parts come in here and there. And again, it took its time. That section seemed to go on for 1 or 2 minutes. I'm like, let's see the radio play this song with that section. Probably not. And once again, more morphing. That quiet section, after going on simmering for a while, morphs slowly into a full-on groove, kind of a faster version of, the earlier musical ideas with Roger singing. Wow. And then, of course, it just explodes to this big, intense ending, quite appropriate for a big song. So yeah, a pretty amazing epic right out of the gate on their first album. It's getting the double epic platinum record award, absolutely, for Try Again. All right, and the remaining 4 songs come from Indelibly Stamped, their second studio album. Your Papa Don't Mind is sung by Rick Davies. It's widely thought to be about encouraging a young woman to become independent and live her own life, free from the constraints or apathy of her parents. Let's check it out.
Give it a whirl, give it a try. Why don't you sleep out, start living high? You're on your own, you make your bed. No time for wasting, just look ahead. Your power don't mind what you do or say. You can't surprise him anymore. He's got a reputation and he don't look back. Your papa don't mind.
Wow, so I know I'm not the only one who right out the gate got references to the song, and I don't know who sings it, when it was released. Something like Your Mama Don't Dance and Your Daddy Don't Rock and Roll. I know those aren't the exact words, but you know what I'm talking about. It totally reminded me of that. So again, don't know which came first, but that was a cool reference. Anyway, right from the start as well, more of the classic Supertramp vibes that I'm used to. The first one didn't remind me of all the stuff I've heard from them, but this one did, so that was nice. Yeah, this one's definitely more straightforward rock, had me grooving. Rick sounding great as always on vocals here. Everything was so punchy, sharp, very lively. Obviously, it's meant to be that way, and complete success there. I love the piano. I think it was electric piano solo. Went on for a while. Perfect to my ears. I think they added hand claps. Is that what that was? Sure sounded like it. And of course, to round it out, that super chorus, so catchy. One of those it's easy to sing to, so fun to sing to. Wow, definitely one of the strongest parts of the song. And I love the 3 times repeated end line. Classic all the way around. I'll give this one 5 golden records, an A score for Your Papa Don't Mind. Alright, on to Traveled. It's sung by Roger Hodgson. It's about a person who has spent a long time searching for happiness or meaning in life, only to lose hope and feel a sense of aimlessness or disconnection. Quite sad, quite relatable. Let's go. Ballad, I hope.
Travel the world a million ways, catching upon a familiar gaze. Everyone lives by do or die. There's no one with time to laugh or cry. There's no one to tell us what we're living for. And though I try to be a good man, I just know that I'll be losing very soon. And there are times and there are motions when I do believe I'm going out of tune. Oh, now I've been around a long, long while, looking for sun to make me smile, but still my
Big surprise there. Wow. The song went nothing like I thought it would. So of course I love the sadness straight away as soon as the song begins. I was expecting that based on the description, and I thought we'd get a ballad the whole time. I was wrong. And I thought we'd get sadness the whole time. Boy, was I wrong. Anyway, the beginning beautiful, an acoustic guitar and flute dance divine. Then Roger's vocals come in. He's sounding so different here to me. I love that. I love his voice already, but again, a new shade, even better. But ironically, he sounded much older here to me. I don't know if it's because it's my first listen. It sounded like an evolved version of his voice, maybe him at 60 years old, which is ironic because he's super young here, even before all the stuff that I've heard in the bulk of their catalog. So I don't know what that's about, but again, I just love hearing a different side. It was quite surprising. Then a surprise switch up, blast up in energy into that upbeat chorus. Okay, I'll take it. A lot of energy, a lot of positive vibes there. Didn't expect that. Definitely some Beatles influence happening melodically and sonically for me. Then I expected us to go into a nice soft valley, back to one of the earlier, ideas, but nope, that didn't happen. The energy kept building and building. It never came down for the rest of the song until the end, of course. So that was a big surprise. Another surprise, the saxophone arrives. Didn't even see that on the personnel list. I know I heard it. It was a nice kind of foreshadowing to all the amazing sax that they used later in their career. Then the energy just stays up there for the rest of the song. This extended instrumental section, love it. I'm getting, some of those classic Supertramp grooves that they do time and time again. I'm loving it. Tons of vocals, mostly la la la's. I love that. And then it's Roger. Wow. Pure energy, pure classic, vibrant music from basically, the 20% mark to the end, maybe the 10% mark to the end. A big surprise, a great song. Great tune. I'll give it the Epic Platinum Record Award, absolutely, for Traveled. All right, on to Rosie Had Everything Planned. It's sung by Roger Hodgson. It tells a story of a woman named Rosie who mistakenly believes her husband is cheating on her. Her misguided turmoil leads her to murder him. Yikes. Let's see what they have to offer here.
Acting upon information received, Rosie had everything planned. Stood in the garden with shotgun in hand. What a woman. Whilst entertaining the headlines next day, Rosie would not be released if it was found that her man was deceased. Silly woman. Oh, but Rosie, a girl with a strange kind of humor, stupidly took in a rumor, making her think that she'd lost, double-crossed by a man who was dear. Stood in the garden and shaking her head, Rosie could not understand, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand. Sad, sad woman. Oh, but Rosie, how could a few words have made her certain that he had betrayed her, making her think that she'd lost, double-crossed by a man who was dear. very near to her, row upon row of angel hair. Rosie had everything planned, sure that the people would not understand. Sad, sad woman. Ooh.
Again, not what I expected. Wow, that was lovely. This time we do get a full-on ballad. Of course I love that. I loved the acoustic guitar. Besides sounding beautiful, was the driving force in this one. Great stuff. Pair that with Roger. Great stuff. But why again does Roger sound different here? I think maybe he's singing in a more lower register than he did, later in the career. I don't know. But his voice sounding so gorgeous here, the way it was sung, the way it was processed. Once again, more Beatles vibes here for sure. Beatles ballad vibes. Overall, a smooth, rich sound. A great flow to this one. Frank Farrell's accordion. I loved hearing that. It was a great surprise. I kind of knew beforehand, but of course I forgot. So when it arrived, I was in heaven, sounding beautiful. A super rare instrument on my channel. Such a beautiful blend of sadness and, happiness. Kind of they're meeting in the middle in this one. Such a beautiful flow, a lullaby flow. But, again, you feel good, but then you feel a little bit of pain, knowing that this is a dark tale, a tragic tale. Wow, it just all came together so beautifully, lyrically, sonically, instrumentation-wise. And a little cherry on top, that bright piano that came in at the end, sounding beautiful. It paired perfectly with more accordion, which was more subtle. That second time around, the piano was shining into the fade out. Really love this one. Of course, it's getting the Epic Platinum Record Award. Yes, for Rosie Had Everything Planned. All right, and we'll end this Supertramp Fest with the song Potter. It's sung by Dave Winthrop. That'll be cool to hear him, whoever he is. Obviously, probably my first time hearing him sing. It apparently describes a sex-crazed individual and their routine. Very curious, a little bit scared to see what's going to happen here. I did read the lyrics, so, they didn't age like fine wine, but let's see what it's all about.
My name is Potter. Hi there. I'm sure getting hotter. Mind there. I told this chick she could see my prickly cactus back in the car.
Wow, yet another surprise. This one definitely the rockest one of the bunch in this reaction. It actually sounded like it could have come from more hard rock bands, many different ones that I've heard. So that was shocking. Yet it's Supertramp. You just never know, I guess. The music was cocky, gritty, bold, punchy, as appropriate, based on the subject matter that I read. Wow, so interesting, so different. Plenty of catchy guitar riffs and melodies. Love that. I loved some of the tones. Maybe it was reverb I was hearing. I don't know, but thick, down, dirty guitar for sure. Then there's Dave Winthrop. Such a rock voice. Definitely quite different from Rick or Roger vocally. Almost over-the-top vocals in the best way possible, in the right way to fit this kind of a song. Probably a little theatrics in his voice as well. I'm sure he has other shades to his voice. I just don't know how often he sang in Supertramp or whatever he did after he left the group. Anyway, the ending amazing. The guitar ending, that was one of my favorite parts. But, strong through and through. What a song. It really flew by. It felt like 30 seconds, but I really enjoyed it. I'll give it 5 golden records, an A score for Potter by Supertramp. Wow, what a ride. What a different ride. I was surprised several times, and I love being surprised musically. So thank you so much for gracing me today with these wonderful songs. Rick Davies, Roger Hodgson, Richard Palmer, Robert Millar, Dave Winthrop, Frank Farrell, and Kevin Curry, plus the amazing Rob Heckman. All right, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below. If you wish to chat about these songs, I would love to know what you think. So you take care, stay safe, stay hydrated, and remember to let peace, calm, and light into your day and night. And I'll see you next time in the past.